Hello, everyone. Good morning. How are you guys doing? Hello, Lou. I'm fine, thank you. Good to see you. How have you been? Phoenix, thank you. Good morning. On Zoom, can you guys hear me? Just want to make sure. I think I'm not muted. Yeah. Juliet, good evening. Wisdom, good evening. Ismail, are you here? Good evening. All right. Let's just. Okay. Good evening. All right. Let's just start. I think everyone is here. And today, I really want to finish this CI/CD project today, so that we can move on to the next one. We only have two more projects after this, and we are pretty much done. Um, so we can yeah, just move along. All right, let me share my screen. Yeah, sure. Just send me your account ID. Okay, I see. All right. Let me log in. I'll send it to you. It's cool. Okay, yeah. Need to log into my AWS account. The three, admit, steward.
Hello Azeez, hello everyone.
Hello, good
How are you
morning.
Azeez?
I'm fine. You?
I'm also good.
Transparent. Just a sec. Did you have a question? Or you were just saying hi?
Myself?
Yeah, you. Yeah.
No,
Hamza.
no, uh, I'm just
Oh,
greeting you, brother.
oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Is evening where you are, right? Is it evening? Evening time?
Yes, it's right now 9:07 p.m. 9:07 p.m.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, good evening to you.
So yeah, yeah. Good evening.
Are
I
you
came
Muslim?
from. Yes, I am Muslim. I am
You
came
fasting?
from masjid. Yes, fasting.
Oh, okay. Cool, cool. How is it going?
uh, uh, I don't know. Should I ask you the same question
Uh,
because your name resembles to the Muslim name?
yes,
Whether
I'm not fasting though. My parents, my dad is Muslim and my mom is Christian. So
okay, okay,
I kind of did both religion growing up, but now I'm just I wouldn't necessarily if you ask me, I go to church sometimes. So I always just consider myself more of like a spiritual person. I do believe there's God and I do follow all those things, but I'm not really like a religious person like that. So, but I like both religions, both
okay, okay.
Christian.
I know.
Islam.
Okay, because your name resembles to the Muslim name, so that's why I asked it.
It is a
Uh,
Muslim
uh,
name. It is a Muslim because my dad is Muslim.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So in the United States, right now it's I think morning time.
Yeah, my time is 11 a.m.
Oh, 11 a.m.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Hmm. All right. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting some stuff ready. I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, me. So I transferred it to you and I sent you that password. So see what you see on your end. The password I've been trying to send to people. I don't know if there's another process to it, but it's been showing that it's failing. But that's all they gave me, that password. So just see what you see on your end, and at some point, I'm sure it is going to ask you for that password. GitHub. All right. Let me share my screen.
What part, what state do you reside, Aziz?
In Maryland.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm in Maryland too.
Uh,
Bellsville College Park.
oh, okay. We're not far from each other. I'm in Upper Marlboro.
Ah, okay. I'm up now. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're familiar with the DMV area.
Do you go out?
Oh, I'm a little bit on the older side, but about the same age. I'm 40, about 45.
Okay.
So I go out, but it's calmed down a little bit.
I see.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see. I'm just, yeah. I don't really go out. Every time I go out, it's usually with my cousin. Hi, Samuel. Samuel, in Maryland too. Okay. Where in Maryland, Samuel? Yeah, every time I go out is usually with my cousin. Yeah, Captain, I didn't forget. Don't, yeah, I'll send it to you. Don't worry. Every time I go out is with my cousin.
Mhm.
But me and him, we haven't seen each other in a long time now. So,
Yeah,
uh,
I'm likewise. I usually go out with my cousin, but he has relocated to Florida since then. I've just been chilling.
yeah,
Only family, like family
I know.
outings that you actually see me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Since I had my boy, I've been out twice
Wow.
since I had my boy. I've been out twice.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not really like a going out type of person anyway. I just whatever I'm doing, whenever I'm doing it, it's always fine with me. So, uh, it's all right.
So if you're from the DMV area, you should know how Azure is like taking over the market around the federal government flight. Like all the companies that are shooting out for interviews. Yes, they want AWS certification, but at the end of like, we're in the DMV area, how competent are you with the Azure platform? And I have to like literally bend your arms to convince them that I basically I just use AWS services and tell them the replicas of the same thing on
Mhm.
Azure. And they're like, okay, let's sit for an interview, set up an interview. So
Yeah. Assuming it's probably because of the government thing, because government here, they tend to most of them, I mean, some of them is not all of them, because all the government agencies that I've worked for. And the one that I'm currently working for now is using AWS, not Azure. But I do get what you're saying though. A lot
Yeah,
of
yeah. Most of the modernized big agencies, like I know most of the Health and Human Services Agency, FDA, NCI, HHS, DOL, SEC, I've noticed they're all, they have a lot of funds, first of all. Those so you notice that they've all modernized into the AWS framework or CSP. Then I noticed the ones that are Azure platforms are the ones that are not yet modernized, and they do not want to modernize. They want to keep their legacy system, and if they want to modernize, they just want to basically lift and shift, upload their legacy system into the Azure platform, so it's more compatible. You understand, and go
Mhm.
from there. And
Yeah.
that's my experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't even been on the market to know what's going on now. But it's all right. Yeah. Anyway.
You don't want to be there.
Yeah, no, I'm just sticking with the one I have now, and I'm
Yeah,
trying
you
to,
do not want to be there. It's brutal, man. It
yeah,
just the money keeps going lower, and the requirements keep getting higher.
yeah,
Assessment test and this. I'm like, okay, this is not getting better.
yeah,
It's okay.
yeah. Uh, um, anyway, so let's continue. I really want to finish this CI/CD today, if we can, without not staying too long, because my wife is going out today, so I probably won't be able to stay past time. But I want to get as close to the end as we don't have that much stuff to do. It looks like a lot, but in here we're really not filling out anything critical in there. So this is where we will start, right? This is where we left off last week. This is the restarting our ECS job because after we after we create our tax definition, we have to restart our ECS job. And this is what it's doing there. Before we do that, I was working on a different AWS account. Let me just make sure that my SSH key is in the right place. Give me a second. So, but in the meantime, you guys, the job we are going to copy from our reference file is the ECS job, the restart ECS packet. Um, Let me use as my name dot SSH. Okay, I'm just going to put both there. Um, I think I'm using the RSA one. Just going to paste it here. Paste two. Okay. All right. So the job we want to copy is the restart ECS package. So I'm going to copy it here. So select everything like this. Make sure you select the space too, because since we are using YAML, the indentation does matter. Then you come back to your project here, press enter twice. Then make sure your cursor is in the beginning and paste it here. So everything should line up after you've pasted. So we're on job 4. So for this job, the name of the job that let's just say the code name we gave it is the restart ECS service. And the name you'll see in the GitHub Actions console is this. This is the name of the job, restart ECS packet. Then needs, right? It is going to need our deploy AWS infrastructure job. So the need just means that which job does this depend on? Which job has to run first before this one runs? So remember, deploy our AWS infrastructure. This is where we deploy our AWS infrastructure using Terraform, right? Then we build and pushed our image. That's that job. Then we recreate our tax definition, right? So this is saying that this restart job, right, is going to need the deploy AWS infrastructure because we want to rebuild our infrastructure, and it's going to need the job where we create our new tax definition. This job, right? It don't matter if it needs the build image job, because if you guys know, the build and push image job is this revision job is depending on the build and push image job. So we don't have to put the same thing here because that dependencies is already there. This job needs this previous job, right? And this previous job needs the previous one after it. So that's how it works. So that's the needs, pretty much what you are depending on. Then the next one is the if, right? We've done it up here, so we can copy it from up here. The if statement, right? Which is here, right? We are only going to run this job if Terraform is applied. But if Terraform is destroyed, we are not going to apply it. So that is our if statement here. So you can see that the note I put there, condition to skip if on destroy, right? So we'll just copy our if statement. It will pretty much be the same thing throughout all of our jobs, right? So this will be if AWS infrastructure output Terraform action is not equals to destroy, that's only when this job will run. Then the next one is runs on, which is our the runner we want to use. We are going to use GitHub Actions provided runner, which is Ubuntu latest. So here we'll type Ubuntu -latest. All right. And for the steps, you don't have to do anything here. Let me see. For the steps, we don't have to do anything here, right? So in the step, this is where we will restart the ECS service. That's the name we gave it. And we have the environment variables here, right? So the environment variable is we need the ECS cluster name. We need the ECS service name. We need the tax definition name. And we need the tax definition revision, right? So all these are in a different job, right? Remember the ECS cluster name, service name, and tax definition, these came from our Terraform project. When in our deploy AWS infrastructure job, that's where we created our cluster and we specify the name there and we export those names out as an output. So that's what this is saying. The environment, the value of cluster name is going to come from our build AWS infrastructure jobs output that we called ECS cluster name. The same thing for the service, the same thing for the tax definition. Then for the tax definition revision is this job up here. You can see this job tax definition revision. We output the new tax definition revision. So after we create our new tax definition, right, we'll get the revision and we output it. And that's what we are pulling in here. Remember, I said like everything any job does only stays in that job. If you need that thing, any particular attribute from a job or value from a job that you need to use in the next job, you have to first output it out of that job, then you can use it. So that's what we did here. In this job, we output the new tax definition revision, and that is what we are using here on this for this environment variables. Then once we've set our environment variables here, we are just running AWS CLI commands, right? So this AWS CLI command is AWS ECS update service. So this is the CLI command in the AWS documentation that would update your ECS service. So you can see, yeah, update ECS service. Then the values that when you are running the CLI command, the values that it would expect you to put is cluster, service, and tax definition, right? Cluster, service, and tax definition. So here for our cluster, we are going to get the cluster from the environment variable name. The service, the same thing. We are going to get the service name from the environment variable. And the tax definition that we want to use to update our new ECS cluster will be the tax definition is going to be the tax definition name, right? Dot colon the revision we want to use. Because you guys know when you're updating your service, you select your tax definition and your tax definition will have multiple revision and you can select which one you want to use. So here will be our tax definition colon the revision, which we are using the new revision, which is here. Because you can see tax definition revision equals our new revision that we created in the previous job. Right. So that's what we have here. Right. And here we would add our flag. So we'll remove this at the end. And this is going to be double hyphen force new deployment. So basically when we are updating our service, we want to force a new deployment. So when we make all those changes, we want it to just deploy a new Fargate containers. So maybe deployment.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
So if you were doing like if you were doing a rollback, and we're, for example, we're already on this tax definition revision, it will roll back to tax definition name, or is it destroyed in the infrastructure and to be unable to roll back to that tax definition?
The rollback is not on this job, but it will roll back on the next job we'll create or something like that, but not here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so so this is a flag to just force a new deployment. Right. So once you add the flag, then the next command we have here is we are waiting for the service to be stable. Right. So this is another AWS CLI command. So once we update our service with the new everything we just update, we are waiting for the service to be available before our pipeline is complete, right? This is where our testing starts coming in. We've already done one test where we scan the image for vulnerabilities. Now we are waiting for the service to be available. And the CLI command is AWS ECS wait, service stable, right? So we're waiting for the service to be stable. Then we have to specify which service in our account we want to wait, right? It's our cluster, which is the name of the cluster, and the service, which is the service of the cluster, right? You can see those services. And that's all for this job. I'm going to, let's just do the next job before we push it. So that's this job. Let's just do the next one. So the next job is testing our application, and you can copy everything from here all the way down to line 243. So like that. So once you select everything, I'm just going to copy. And here, going to press enter here, press enter again, then bring my cursor all the way to the beginning and paste it here. Then if you scroll up, you'll see it there. So here, this is where we are testing our application. We are testing our application's health, right? And there is a way we are testing it. So once we update our task definition and we use it to restart our ECS Fargate service. In this test application, this is the name of this code block. And this is the name of the job. This is what you will see in your GitHub Actions. And here, this is the job that needs to run that it will need. So it will need the AWS deploy AWS infrastructure job and restart ECS service job, which makes sense. And once this job restarts, then that's when we want to test, right? The if is the same thing as everything. It would only run if Terraform apply is applied, not destroyed. So we'll just copy that if statement from the other job, paste it here. Then our runs on is the runner we want to run it on, which is Ubuntu latest. And for the step, under this the step, these are the things we want to do. So we will say here for the step, wait for the step. We are going to wait for the service to be stable. So the run, let's put sleep 30. Sleep. If I'm not mistaken, I think this 30 is like 3 minutes. So we are going to wait for 3 minutes for the service to be stable, right? Then while we are waiting, the next step is going to check. This is where we are running another health check, right? We are going to check the application's health, right? So here is the step name, and we have an environment variable we created in it, right? Which is needs deploy AWS infrastructure, right? Output, because remember our domain name is specified in our Terraform project and we output it. So here, this is where we are getting the output from that job to use here in this job. Then we are going to run our command. So here it is doing two things. It is running the, well, it's not doing, here it is running a call command. So it's just trying to call your website to see if it is reachable. So you can see here, it is just using HTTPS. It is forming our full domain name here and it's trying to call our website and trying to see if we can access it, right? If we can access it, it is going to pretty much respond with whatever it is getting. So because what happens is once we restart our ECS service here, our website should be up and we should be able to access it. So that's what this command is doing. So it is trying to access it to see if the site is healthy. So based on whatever response it gets, right? If the response equals right here, so under this equals, we have to put something. So here, if the response equals 200, remember anytime you are making a request to applications online, and it's in AWS everywhere, right? If the request is successful, it is always 200. That's the response you always get, 200. So that's why we are saying here, when you try to call the website, if the response is equals 200, then you are going to say, it's going to pretty much say application is healthy, or else it is going to say application fail, right? And the pipeline is going to stop here. So that's what this job is doing. Remember, it is just trying to call your website by the domain name. If it gets a response 200, the job continues, or else it is going to fail. But this is one of the testing, right? We are still going to do another test after this. So this is just one layer of the test, right? Just trying to call the website. And we'll do the next layer of test, then we will now do a rollback. So that's this job. Do you guys have any question on this job? So all this job is doing is just trying to call your websites by the domain name. And if it gets a response, 200, then it would echo this. And if it gets a response other than 200, it would echo this. All right, Barry, go ahead.
This job, are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
This job that you are running bit by bit
Mm-hmm.
in a work setting is going to be run at once, right?
I mean, we are creating it now. That's why we are running it bit by bit. But even if we wrote all these files and we run it, remember the job will be running based on what they are depending on. So as we have all the codes here, right?
Yes.
It will run from top to bottom, right? It
Yeah.
will start with this first job here.
Yeah.
But then after this job, the next set of job will run based on whatever they are depending on.
Yep.
So now this job will run. This job will run after this job because it is depending on that job. But let's say I don't have this depend on here.
Mm-hmm.
This job will run when this job is running. They will be running at the same time.
Is this not what they call deployment?
Yes, the full thing we are doing is we are deploying our application. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. So we are deploying our application, but we are doing it in different steps. So the job are like the different steps, and these steps are all the things we've learned from the beginning. So you can say we are deploying our infrastructure using Terraform. We are rebuilding our image we are building our Docker image using Docker. We are pushing it to Amazon ECR using AWS CLI. So we are doing a lot of different things. That's the point of the CI/CD pipeline. It pretty much puts all the steps together in one place and automates everything for you. Hello, the cost to enroll is this one. Let me show you. I'll send you the link. So if you come to my site here and you click on this link, it'll bring you here. So this is the course when you enroll. I'll paste it in here for you. Cloud computing 1000. Sorry, I'm just saying your message. That's the link to enroll. Yeah, so when you go on the site, there's like different, I'm not sure what's wrong with this thing today. There's like a different payment method you can use here. You can just pick one. I think some of these have like Afterpay. I'm not sure based on where you are. It allows you to do multiple payments. All right. Yeah, so that is this job. So let's do the next job. The next job is going to monitor our deployment. So this job, the first job is just checking whether our site is back up. Like our site is always up. right? That's what that job is doing. This next job is what is checking whether our deployment is done. Because remember, in ECS, when we update our ECS Fargate service, right, we are redeploying that ECS Fargate service. The service, the deployment itself needs to be 100%, because sometimes Terraform can tell you that I'm done, or the pipeline can tell you I'm done, but the service itself, the deployment itself in ECS Fargate is failing. And when it fails, it will keep trying to spin up a new one. So this is helping us prevent that. So here we are checking whether we can access our site. And here on this job, you'll see what we're doing. So I'm just going to copy this job. We are checking to make sure that our deployment is complete. Like the deployment is done and everything is stable, not that the pipeline is done and the deployment is failing. So I'm going to paste that job here. You can see it here. The name of the job is monitor deployment, and this is the name you will see in GitHub Actions. So for this monitor, it needs deploy AWS infrastructure, and it needs restart ECS service. Because after we restart the service, we want to now monitor it. Then the if condition is going to be the same as this. We are only going to run this job if we are applying Terraform. So we are going to paste it here. And for our runs on, it is going to be Ubuntu latest. And for the steps, these are the things we will do, right? We only have one step in here, even though it looks long, but please bear with me. It's actually very simple when you look at it. So under the step, we are checking our ECS. We are checking if our ECS is running, right? If the ECS tags is running, right? So we have an environment variable, which we are going to use here. We specify the cluster name, the service name, the same thing we did up here. So if you guys see the same thing we did up here, but this in this environment variable here, the same thing we did here, right? Because the value for ECS cluster name and service name is in our deploy AWS infrastructure job. So we have export them as an output. So we are now pulling them from that job here to be able to use it in this job, right? Then here, this is just an AWS CLI command, right? We are running the AWS CLI command in here, and we are storing it as count. And we are pretty much doing the same thing here, and we are storing it as desired count. So this is what's going on. Here, this AWS CLI command is describing your ECS service that you currently have running. Remember when you run a CLI command to get some information from AWS, AWS will respond in a JSON format, right? I showed you like what that JSON format looks like. So you are now going into that JSON format and you are picking, you can pick a specific key out of that JSON format and it will give you the value. So that's what's going on here. So when we get the JSON format, and every time you run any CLI command and stuff like that, for example, when we run this describe service, is the same thing we are running here and here. The document that AWS is going to respond with is always the same. So when we run it in that JSON, we want to track it down to where AWS has certain key. And that's what we are going to enter here. So here remove the placeholder, and what we want to query is service. So in that JSON that AWS will respond with, there will be a key in there called JSON. I mean, in that JSON document, there will be a key in that JSON document called service. So you want to query service, and you put a bracket and O. All right. So this is a top level key. So this is saying that I wish I can show you guys the document. We have to go and run you know what, after we are done, I will run this CLI command, and I would output the document, I'll output that JSON document to a text file or something so you guys can see what it looks like. So in that document, when you query it, when you get the JSON document, so we are getting the service key, and that service key is a high level key, and we want to get the first item in that key dot whatever key is below it. So the key below it will be running count. Don't worry, I'll show you guys what that document looks like once we have our ECS service running. So here it will be service. Sorry, I was reading someone's comment. It will be service.running. What you want to put here is running count. The count is a capital C, like that. So this is how we'll query it, right? So basically this is saying we are going to get the information on our running ECS service, and whatever AWS respond with, we are checking the value under service running count, and we are saving it to a text file. Then we are doing the same thing again here. We are running is the same command, but this time we are checking the value under service bracket. It will be the same 0 dot. This time it will be desired count. Desired count. When we work on the Python project next, you guys will see that you're not really doing anything. All you are doing is when you run CLI command, they respond with a document to you. And in that document, what you want is in it. So you are using code to extract that thing out of there so you can use it. So here, all we want is just the numbers. So here we are trying to get the number of the deployment we have running, and we are comparing the number of tasks we have running, and we are comparing it to our desired tasks. Remember, when we deploy our ECS package, we will say our desired task is 1. So if our desired task is 1, then the number of tasks we have running should be 1. So we are trying to compare both to make sure they are equal to each other. If they are equal to each other, right? So here you can see after we pull those values, running count and desired count, we are going to echo task equals running task, the number, desired task, the number. So here it would put the running task number, desired task number. The test we are doing here is that they must equal to each other. So that's what we are now specifying here. If running count equals to desired count, so if if the numbers are equals to each other, then it would pretty much say all tasks are running successfully. But if the numbers are different, then it will say task count mismatch and deployment has issues, which makes sense because your desired count is what we specify already. So our running count needs to match the desired count. If the number of tags we have running does not match what we desired, that means that something is failing in the deployment. So that's what this test is doing. So that's this job. Do you guys have any question so far? It does not give an option for monthly payment, but pay 200. Cloud computing where are you trying to? So with the payment system, it has like different things, right? The site that I'm using, the type of if you want to make multiple payments, the type of system they have for you to make it is you have to use the afterpay or something like that. The afterpay lets you, and the PayPal, I think PayPal has like a multiple payment system within their thing. So it's like a third party site that if you have an account to, you can use. But the system default is that $299. But if you want to do the multiple payment, you have to click on either the afterpay, but it's all based on where you are living, because I think those are only available to like United States residents or something like that. All right. So that's this job, and let's go to the next job. So in the next job, this is where the rollback happens. Remember, we are doing two things. First, we are checking to see if our site is healthy, if we can access our site by just calling the domain name. Then we're also checking the desired count. If those two things pass, then this job will skip. This rollback job will skip. But if those two things fail, if any of them fails, then this is the rollback job. And all this rollback job is doing is it would revert back to the previous tax definition, the previous revision of the tax definition that is working. Right? So that's what this is doing. So let's copy this job, this rollback job, going to copy. Going to copy this job and we'll paste it in here. Right.
Just curious, what does FI stand for?
FI is the end of the
script.
if statement. Yes. Yeah, it's the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Funny enough, in Bash script, that's how you have to do it. It's like the end of the script, the if statement. So this is saying if this is equals to this, then do this. Else, do this, and that is the end of the script. Then you can now continue. The end of your if statement. All right. So the rollback on failure, right? The name of that code we call the rollback, and the name that you will see in the GitHub Actions is rollback on previous revision, rollback to previous revision. The needs is the job is going to need, right? It's going to need the deploy AWS infrastructure, tax definition revision, restart ECS service, test application job, and monitor deployment. So pretty much all the previous job we ran is going to need those jobs. And the if statement is the same as here, right? We're only going to run this job if Terraform apply is, if Terraform action is applied. So we'll paste that here under the if statement. And the run zone is going to be Ubuntu latest, because we are using GitHub Actions provided runner. And this is the step, right? What we want to do. So under steps, you can list a series of commands of things you want to do, but this one only has one step. So here, we are going to roll back our ECS service. We are going to roll back on the ECS service to the previous tax definition, right? So the environment is for the the environment here, you will know what you need to put as an environment variable after you know what you are trying to do. Because we are running CLI command here, and the CLI command we are running requires our cluster name, service name, tax definition name. That's why we just make them as an environment variable here, right? Because you can see that there's one CLI command here. There's another CLI command here. If you don't use an environment variable, you will have to enter cluster name here and cluster name here. So it is easier to just use an environment variable that would help you just put the values in there. So cluster name, remember cluster name is going to come from our Terraform deployment. And service name is also coming from the Terraform deployment. Tax definition name is also coming from the Terraform deployment. Then the previous revision is coming from the job where we created a new tax definition revision. So remember this job where we created a new this job where we created a new tax definition revision. You can see we output the new tax definition and the previous one, which was the current one, right? So now in this job, you can see the environment variable previous revision will be the current one. Current, not the current one after we made the changes, the current one before we made the change. So maybe I could have put this like previous tax definition, but here, the current one is the previous one that was there. So once we specify our environment variable, we are just, this is just a sentence, a phrase to us, right? So anytime you use echo in like Linux, right, it's just a phrase to you that is saying, I'm rolling back. So it's telling us that, okay, something failed, I'm rolling back, right? So rolling back to tax definition revision, and it will tell you which revision it is rolling back to, right? Which is this environment variable, whatever the value here is. Then we will now update the service, right? So it is rolling back, we'll now update the service. So here it will be the same CLI command we've run before. AWS ECS update service, the cluster, we have to use, when you run the CLI command, it is requiring you to put your cluster name, your service name, your tax definition. So here, cluster equals our cluster name, whatever the value is here. Service equals our service name, whatever the value is here. And tax definition equals our tax definition name, whatever the value is here. And colon, right? Tax definition, colon, previous tax definition, right? Previous tax definition would be whatever the previous one was before we change it. Then here, we're just going to force a new deployment. So here, we're just going to, so it will be flag, two hyphens, like this, force hyphen new deployment. New hyphen deployment. So once we update it with the previous tax definition, we're going to force the new deployment.
And misspelled deployment. Yeah.
Deployment. Thank you. So once we force the new deployment, right, we'll wait for the service to be stable. Then once the service, we pretty much just like wait for the service to be stable, then it's going to just tell us rollback complete. Right. So this once, right, this rollback is based on if any of this fail. So if this job fails, it is going to roll back. And if this job fails, it is going to roll back. If any of this job fails, it's going to roll back. And these two jobs, they will run side by side with each other. So when we deploy our job, you'll see it. They will run side by side. And if any of them fail, it will roll back. It will roll back. So you can see we're already putting it in the pipeline here that if any of this fail, the pipeline is going to stop, right? On this else, you can see the exit, the pipeline is going to stop. You can see it here too, right? And once the pipeline stops and fail, the next job will just kick in and roll back, do the rollback. But if these are successful, this job will be skipped. This rollback job will skip. So that is how this works. Oh, there's something I'm actually good thing. There's something I'm actually missing on this if statement, right? If, remember I said, if any of this job fails, right? If this job fails or this job fails, then that's when this pipeline will run. But I didn't add that logic here. So in this if statement, this is where we add the logic, right? So the logic is going to be here. I'm just going to put a space here and come back here in the beginning. So it will just be if failure. So fail. There. So if failure, right? And you would put a parenthesis like that and two and. So that's the logic that I was supposed to add in the beginning for this rollback. So this failure means that if the pipeline fails, because remember here, these two jobs will be running side by side. After everything runs, right? This is going to run. Then this test is going to run and monitor. They're going to run side by side. At that point, the pipeline can either continue or fail. So if the pipeline fails, it means one of the tests is not successful. Then the if failure here means that if the pipeline fails, because at this point we've already restart our ECS service, we've already updated our tax definition on the ECS service and all that stuff. So if the pipeline fails at this point, then we want to roll back this job. That's when this job will run. So that is if the pipeline fails and if Terraform action is applied, then this job will run. That is this job. Do you guys have any questions? And we are on the last. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at the jobs, and at what point do you scan for vulnerability here?
Here, we scan for vulnerability up here on the job that was building our Docker image right here on this job. So you can see here, we are building and pushing our Docker image. So we specify the name on the steps. We check out our code. We build our Docker image, right? Then once we build our Docker image, before we push it to ECR, we scan for vulnerabilities here. This job. And once we scan for vulnerability, we get the vulnerability summary here. Right?
Yeah.
Then after that, we push to ECR, right? So here we also have, where is it?
And
wait,
that's
right here.
considered SAS test, right?
Yes, here we are testing the application code for
Okay.
vulnerabilities, before we push it, right? So here we also have, that's what I want to show you. So when we are scanning for vulnerabilities, we add an if statement here, and this exit code is looking at what environment we are trying to deploy in, right? So what this is saying is that when we scan, if the environment equals to prod, then the pipeline will fail. But if the environment is equals to, dev, right? So this one is because whatever the value of our environment is, if it is prod, then the pipeline will fail. But if it is anything other than prod, the pipeline will continue, even if it finds vulnerabilities in the image. Because obviously now there's vulnerabilities in the code we are using, and we still need to complete the project. So this just presents a good opportunity to show you guys how sometimes when you are in the testing environment, they can allow the vulnerabilities in those environments, but when you are pushing to prod, you want to make sure that there's no vulnerabilities in the image you are using. So this is where we are checking that. So
So
where,
this,
go
in
ahead.
a real life operation, if we're in the development or testing stage, we can use this if command just
Yeah,
to, okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. So that's what this is doing. It will scan it. And if it fails, normally the pipeline is supposed to fail, but here, this exit code allows us to say, okay, only fail if environment is equals to prod. If we have anything in there other than prod, it would continue. But it will still give you the scan result. It will tell you vulnerabilities, there's this many vulnerabilities in your thing, and it will just continue with the pipeline. Yeah, so the pipeline will fail at that point. And here is where we are doing another test where we are, remember, we've already pushed our image to ECR. Maybe I should just show you guys the image. Let me bring out the,
And the SAS and that SAS test is considered, is it considered security assessment report for in a DevOps environment?
I mean, you can consider it that, but when they do, they probably have other softwares that they use to do the real assessment report. But
Okay,
it's just in your own deployment,
okay, for
you
you.
are accounting for testing things, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because even when you guys deploy stuff, sometimes the deployment might just be for most of the time, like as a DevOps engineer, deployment, the way you deploy stuff and doing all these things in your deployment is for you guys to cover your back, because sometimes, not even sometimes, you get audited, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
when
yes.
they come and audit your environment and they are seeing vulnerabilities in your scan, that's not going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
So to catch all those things, so when the auditors come and they now start scanning your image, because they will have their own tools. You give them access to your environment, they'll have their own tools they will use to scan. And once they scan, they'll find the vulnerabilities, they will let you know. So in your deployment, you are accounting for those things just to save yourself later on from having to do all this work. So from a standpoint of designing DevOps engineer, we should always put security in mind when we are designing stuff, because we tend to just want to design something that works. So if you ask them, I think Adewale was saying the same thing at his company when he started, because the team he's working with, they are software developers. So when they are writing their codes for their software, they are just trying to make sure the code works. So if they are deploying it to AWS to test it, they are just trying to see if the code works. They are not thinking about security in mind. They might hard code something here or put a value here or open SSH or whatever they need to open, right? To just make sure their code works. But also as a DevOps engineer, when we are designing, we have to think about security. So all these things we are doing is probably not going to be the main security report, but it's just your own team's security prevention, security things you are putting in place to make sure that you are doing everything right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, sorry, in the work environment, is it those in charge of security that's going to do that, or they're just going to recommend that to the developer who is going to embed security into the code. Whose responsibility is that?
It's still going to be your team's responsibility. If they find any vulnerability, they will tell you, and you have to go fix your code. You understand? So are you talking about the vulnerabilities we find in the software thing, in the software here, the one we are scanning, is going to be whoever wrote the code. So most likely, if at your company is your developer, they would fix that vulnerability.
Okay.
But let's say you wrote this CI/CD pipeline, and the security came to scan the images you are using for deployment and all that stuff, and they find vulnerabilities in it. They will reach out back to you, and you will just now go through the steps of fixing it, right? So to you, maybe the fixing it is reaching out, coordinating with the software guys and say, okay, we are using this image from you guys' library from here, from your repository here, is failing, these are the thing, and you just coordinate with them to fix it. You understand? So it's going to be based on how your team is set up.
So what you just explained now, if a situation like that happens, you will have to, in a real life environment, you will have to create a ticket, like a Jira ticket, and report it in Confluence as what you experience to as a backup.
Yes. So yeah, you create a ticket, and the ticket you might have to assign it to someone else on a different team, which is like the developer's team to
Okay,
work
got
on it. But it will still be a task on your list of things in your environment you need to mitigate. But the person that actually has to fix it may be on a different team,
Okay.
right? Yeah. So
All
it
right.
just depends on how your team is set up. It just depends. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me find the image, the CI/CD image, right? So this is what we've done so far, right? We build our AWS infrastructure, we build our Docker image, we scan it for vulnerabilities. The pipeline is going top to bottom, right? Then once we push the image to ECR, we create a new task definition with that image. Then we use that task definition to restart our ECS package service. The two jobs we just did today are this. After we restart our ECS package service, these two jobs are running parallel to each other. First, we are calling our domain name. You can see here and see if we are getting 200. And here we are making sure the running tax is equals to desired tax. If both of these jobs are successful, it would go down, but it will skip this job and go to the notification. But if any of this job fails, that's when the rollback job will kick in. I can probably just put like something here to just explain that, right? So that's when the rollback job will kick in. If any of this fails, the rollback job will kick in, which will just go back to here. It would update our task definition and restart our service. Then at the end, we'll get a notification in Slack. So that's the last job we're about to run. Okay. So on the last, go ahead.
Yeah, the other thing is I saw, if you roll back to the fourth job where we have the scanning thing, I saw like JSON file. It is those vulnerability, all those scan vulnerability, put in a particular file, like a JSON file. Is that what JSON is doing there?
Yes. So when you run the scan, most of the things you will be requesting online and run, like all these systems, they always respond in JSON majority of the time. JSON is like I guess I can say is the standard document that is very easy to work with. So when you make requests to a lot of things, the response is going to come back in JSON. So when we run our scan here, the result of that scan is going to be stored in JSON file that we are storing in our pipeline environment. Then we can now use it for whatever we're going to use it for later on. Yeah. So even when you are working on anything, it's always good to, JSON is very good because it's very easy to work with when you are writing your code. It's easier than other languages. So JSON is like the standard one. All right, let's do the last job. The last job is sending our Slack notification. So going to copy this job here. You can see, make sure you select everything, including the space. I'll copy and I'm going to paste here. And make sure your cursor was in the beginning when you paste it, and make sure everything lines up. So the name of the job is notify, and the name you will see in your GitHub Actions is the send notification, right? Under needs, these are the things it's going to need. It is going to need the build AWS infrastructure, build and push image, tax definition, restart ECS service, test application, and monitor deployment. So those are the jobs that has to run before this runs, which makes sense. So you can see here, it is down here. That need is just saying this job must run, this job must run, this job must run, this job must run, this job must run before this one run, which makes sense. Then the if is pretty much the same way we've been doing it, right? So the if one here will be the opposite of what we just did. So here we put always. This means that anytime our pipeline runs, we always want to get a notification, even if it fails, whether it fails or anything happens, we always want to get a notification. So this job will always run. So here we'll put under the if, we'll put always with a parenthesis like that. And we'll put like 2 and space. Then we can now copy our if statement because we still only want it to run if Terraform here is destroyed. We still need this one. So we'll copy this. If Terraform is not destroyed. Here, we'll paste it here, like that. Then next, we are going to specify our runner, which is Ubuntu latest. Ubuntu -latest. Then for the steps, this is where we'll send this the Slack notification, right? This is the step, meaning that what do you want to do, right? And here we are going to use a runner. Like we are going to use an action, right? There's an action for it. Let me paste the action here for you guys. There's an action that we have to use. So to send Slack notification, you don't have to go and write your own code and do anything because there's already an action you can use that will do other stuff for you. So this is the action. Paste it here. To everyone. I'll send it to you guys on Slack. This is the action. Where am I? Step uses right here. Under uses, you are going to paste it here. That's the action that we can use that sends Slack message. Then with, right? when you send your Slack message, remember we created our, if you're sending it to Teams, there will be there's probably an actions to send to Teams. Is the action and the code the same as Slack? It could, the logic will be the same, but the logic and this concept will be the same, but the how the code is structured, I think it will be the same, but it might just be something slightly different. I'm sure if you want to send to Teams, you can send. There's probably an action. Someone probably already created an action to do that, and we can look it up once we are done. Yeah, it will be the same thing. Like for example, your payload will probably be the same thing because this payload here is just like your sentence structure, how your sentence to be structured. So this one, I just had like Claude made it for me because you don't really have to do anything here. You can see how other people's payloads are, which is the message body, and you can just copy it and use it. You don't have to type anything. And if there's anything you need there in terms of like the sentence structure, then you can modify it. So that's what the payload is. But in terms of like the if statements, the steps is probably going to be the same, most likely. But the action would probably be different, and maybe what it uses will probably be different. I'm not sure. So here, once we use this action, right? Remember to send message to our Slack, we need the Slack webhook we created that we stored in as a secret in our GitHub Actions. So that's what this webhook would go into our secrets and pull our webhook secrets, right? And for the webhook type, this is going to be an incoming webhook. So type incoming webhook here. Incoming hyphen webhook. Incoming webhook, right? Then the payload is just the body, like what the message will look like, right? So you can find different payloads online that you can modify, right? So here, but the text is just here. Needs test application results, right? Equals. So text application results, right? Is this job. You remember our job, test application job? This job, result. The results of that job, let me move this thing out of the way. The result of that job equals success, right? And needs monitor deployment equals success, right? Then it would send either a message deployment successful or deployment fail based on what those jobs results are, right? And this is just the body, right? Again, needs test application result equals. So these are pretty much if the job if those jobs are successful, the message body it is going to send. And this can probably be simplified, but I just had Claude just do that part for me, right? Then in this type selection, these are like the field, and you can see once we get the message, these are the things that will come out, like project name. We just give you some information. The project equals the project name. Environment we are deploying to equals environment. The image we scanned, right? Image and the tag we scanned, and triggered by, right? Who ran the pipeline? Whoever ran it, right? That's just the body. Then here, I think here we are getting the results of the vulnerability scan. So here we just needs build and push image, output, scan results. So we are taking this in that, you remember in our build and push images when we scan our image and whatever result we got, we saved it as a scan summary. So here it is also giving you that scan summary here. And if there is no scan, it will either give you a scan summary or say scan not available. Then here it is giving you your pipeline, the pipeline information. Pretty much the pipeline that the scan is coming from. Like I said, this payload is not something you have to memorize. Just find one online, or you can have, like here I just told AI I have these jobs, scanning here. I want to send a notification on this pipeline in Slack, and I also want to send the scan result. So it pretty much helped me write this. So I think that's everything. Okay, Dylan, that's fine. That's fine. So I think that's all we need to do here. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I think that's all we need to do. That's all we need to do here. For all the jobs. So we
Azeez,
can, yes.
I think we need to update line. Let me go back to just a second. We need to update the webhook secrets with the.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I was saying it here, but I didn't, I was thinking it was already there. Thank you. Yeah.
you
We need to update this, but this is pointing to your secret webhook, right? So if we go up here, I think we specified it up here, right? No, it is not here. So where we get that is we go into our GitHub thing. Thank you, Kyovi. We go here, right? And you go into your repo and you click settings. And here, select secrets and variables and actions, right? These are where we store our secret, right? So our webhook is here, Slack webhook URL. So you copy that key name, and that is what we are going to put over here. Yeah, I was saying that Slack webhook, I was thinking that was the key, but yeah, thank you. Yeah, so you need to put that Slack webhook here. And I think that's, and for the file I gave you guys, if you want to check, so I'm just going to do Control F, and I'm going to use the caret key here, and I'm going to see where I'm getting all the carets, right? You can see I'm only getting one here. So you should only have one caret here after you are done with all the code, because remember that caret thing is where I'm using to show you the placeholder. But this one should be here. So this is not a placeholder. That's how the code should look. That's how the code should look. But if you are getting the caret anywhere else, then you need to update the values there. And I can do the greater than symbol too. I should only have one. Well, this has more. Let me see. This has 20. Well, I think the one you should do, because the greater than one is showing in multiple places, but the one you can use is the less than. For the less than one, what did I just do? For the less than one, you should only have one. And that's pretty much it. Let's save it. I'm going to save my file and I'm going to push it and we'll see. Come here. And guys, before I push it, I need to change my Terraform actions to apply. Apply, save. Here, I just put deploy, apply, pipeline. Yes. And sync. Okay. So I've applied. I'm going to go to my GitHub. Here in your repo, click Actions. You can see the pipeline here. Select it, and you can see the jobs. All the jobs we wrote are now here, right? So you can see how the jobs that will run. The AWS, build AWS infrastructure, build and push image, create task definition, restart Fargate service, and you now see the monitor, ECS deployment, and testing the application health. Those two jobs run side by side. They run at the same time. Then based on the results of that job, it would either roll back or it would the job will be complete and it will send message, right? So as you can see, the rollback broke down here. So it will either roll back here, or if everything is working well, it would be a successful job. So now we just have to wait for all of this to run. Right now, it is on the build AWS infrastructure. That is the name of the job. So if you click on the job itself, you can go into the job and you will see the steps. So you can see in the job, all the steps we listed in the code. These are the steps. It helps you track it down to exactly where your job is failing. So if any of these things fail, we'll know exactly where it is failing. So right now it is running the Terraform apply, which is, if you click on each of the steps, you will see the outputs. The same way you will see the outputs when you are running it on your computer. So we'll just wait for all of this to run. But in the meantime, does anyone have any question?
Yes. So how many jobs are we supposed to run?
Depends on what you are trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can have as many jobs as you want. You can have as little job as you want in your pipeline. You can combine some of these jobs. It just depends on you, how you are building your pipeline. So it just depends on what you're trying to do. So in our pipeline, it makes sense because this is like a Terraform deployment. So we made it one job. The building your Docker image and pushing it can be one job, right? Creating the task definition can be his own job. Then restarting the ECS Fargate service can be his own job. The easier you can break down the jobs, the better, because then it just means that one, we can even break down all this, how we have our code in one file. We can break down these jobs into multiple files that can reference, other pipeline can reference later on too. So it just makes sense that any task you are building is better to break them down into smaller tasks, which is like your jobs. You just break them down into other jobs versus trying to fit everything into one job. We'll wait for this to be done. Cloud computing, where are you located? Are you in Nigeria, or what part of the world are you in? You're in South Africa. Okay. Um, I was the payment, the payment plan, the payment on the site, that's how they set it up. But there's probably like another way there's probably something I can do, but I will go I'm going to look into it and update you guys next week. Yes, I'm going to look into it because once I pick the type of payment plan thing that I pick, it allows you to pay at once, then it also allows you to do payment plan using those different platforms. But there's probably a way I can just a way around it where I can add other payment plan without using that one. It will just take you to it will be probably a different link on the site a different link there that will take you to um, a different payment method for like the monthly one if you wanted, because they don't include the monthly one with the one I chose because the Afterpay and the other ones is supposed to be monthly or however payment plan, but that is not taking account for people that are in other countries that those payments options may not be available for. So I'll check it. I'll check it and if there's something I can do to add a different link there that takes you guys to a different offer, I'll do that. Right. So this is just obviously the Terraform deploy is going to take most of the time. But once we are done with this deployment and everything works, that's pretty much it for this project. Another project down, and we have 2 more projects to go. The main thing is the main encouragement I can give you guys is don't overthink any of these things, right? These jobs, just break it down into a single job, right? Start with the first job. The first job is not that long, right? And really, there's not really a lot of stuff in there. A lot of these things in this first job is like environment variables, right? This is just the job body. This ones you can really understand. Just break it down to one job at a time. Then once you understand one job, then move on to the next job. That is how it works. And also once you start working and let's say your company, they show you all this file, you are not going to be working with the entire file at once. There might just be a section of the file where the changes they are trying to make is located. Then you just go in that section and you make the change. So in my new project, let me tell you guys, my new project, I joined earlier this year. I'm still working for the same company, but a different client for the company. I'm new on the project and they just give me access. And 2 weeks ago is when they just assigned me my first ticket. Their CI/CD pipeline is they're using Jenkins. And I don't have that much experience in Jenkins. Like I pretty much have enough experience to have my cloud. I'm pretty much relying on my experience of what I have and how to navigate through files and different things. But their pipeline is very nice. Is well thought out the way they build everything. They even have like software release. You have to go into Nexus, get the latest release, then it's just like a whole process. When the guy showed me how to do it, right? There's a guy on my team, he's very helpful, extremely helpful. He's an African guy from Somalia. He's very helpful. So he's been the one showing me around. When he was showing me how to do my first deployment, their deployment process, he just and everything was moving so fast because he was just okay, we do this, we do that, and I was following along, but it was too much information at once. So all I was doing during those sessions is just whatever we did, wherever we went, I just took screenshots of everything. That was it. Then I had to do the next deployment by myself. So I had to only rely on the screenshots that I took. Then I was pretty much remembering things he was showing me and things he was explaining. Then as I was doing the second deployment, I was just writing my notes down and I was just relying on the screenshots because all I needed the screenshot for was to show me exactly what section he went in the pipeline to do. Then I can look at the history of the pipeline and I can see, okay, this is when I ran the pipeline. These are the settings I picked. So that was how I was able to do my deployment and I learned that part of my job, right? So what am I trying to tell you guys? It's the same thing you are doing here. You're gonna have to take what is given to you, do some reverse engineering, analyze everything one at a time, and get your own understanding on it, right? It is not the cloud field, they are paying you a lot of money. Trust me, it is not a field you go in where they they want to hold your hands to do stuff. It's actually a bad way to go in. You just, well, however they explain something to you, you just want to take it like that, and they expect you to catch up real quick and be able to start producing results. So I'm just trying to say all that stuff he showed me one time and that's it. And even me, I was pretty much embarrassed to be able to go to him the second time, even though if I did, I won't be wrong because it wasn't like a recorded session, but I still, but he's very busy with his own work. We're all doing deployments, doing different things. People don't like when you pull them away for them to come and explain something to you twice. So that's why I'm saying all the stuff you guys are doing now is only preparing you for work. It is not a field where you think people will sit there and they'll tell you to click this, click that. They'll do it one time, and if they have to tell you the same thing the second time, they're not going to like it. So that's how I'm still learning on my new project, but I'm just telling you guys how, and that's how it's been on any project that I get on. Once they give you access, they pretty much start assigning work to you. And you you have someone on your team that will show you around. But when they show you around, the information it will still be a lot of information coming to you at once. But you can always rely on like what's helping me now is the knowledge. I already know cloud. I may not know their environment, which is what I'm learning, but it's not like I'm starting from ground zero. I don't know anything. I know I just need to tailor my experience into what they are doing and learn how their deployment process is, which I'm actually enjoying. I'm actually enjoying the process. So that's what I'm saying. Most of the times when people reach out to me, they will say, like someone said, they are looking for me to teach them stuff step by step. Yes, I don't mind doing that, and I think that's what I'm doing here. And if there's any way I can improve what I'm doing, you guys let me know. But I'm also not going, I stopped trying to convince people, and I'm also not going to argue with you. If you feel that you need someone to show you how to click this, how to click that, that is not how you should be learning. You should be looking for someone to show you the information, give you the roadmap, and you should be able to take it and build your knowledge based on that. Then if you have specific questions about something, okay, we have this um code here. Why do we have this code here? What is this code doing? Those are the type of questions you should be asking instead of telling someone, instead of someone you just following along with someone when they are doing something. So yeah, so that's been my experience, like my recent experience now on my new project.
Hi, Aziz.
Hello.
I just want to add a little stuff of what you said, like about it, click this, click that, and everything. Actually, I did a boot camp 6 months, and the boot camp was just a project, and we're just following along as go as you go, go as you go. After the 6 months, believe me, I did not know nothing. It's just like that knowledge of just do this, because there was no problem to solve. It was just like click on this, click on this, click on this, click on this, click on this. And at the end, I try like 2 interviews. I'm like, oh, I'm not prepared. That's why I have to like, okay, I have to let that go and start all over. Before I now found the YouTube, then I bought the course. Actually, I love the way you are teaching because it's it's helping me to build up my confidence. Like there are some things not literally I don't know how to do, but due to your few like because I've not actually finished all the project, but I can see myself like if you wake me up like okay, come and set up a 3 tier architecture project. I'm so confident that I know what to do.
Good.
back to the Terraform. The Terraform, I did that. Like I was just like I was literally writing the step down. Okay, I have to write this, but now without the step, like I know what to do. Okay, create my VPC, then down to your subnet, down to NAT, everything. You understand what I mean? Like, yeah, like your approach is really good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you. And I'm sincerely being honest with you guys, and it's true. Um, just if you're taking someone's boot camp, just following along with what they are doing is not going to help you. And also for those that are here to limiting your study time to just when you are here today is also not good enough. You have to. So the point of what is here is I'm just doing, consider what I'm doing as demo. I'm showing you guys, okay, how this thing works. And it's also an opportunity for you guys to ask questions. And it's also this, what I'm doing today will be equivalent to how that guy showed me stuff on my job, my new project, right? It's the same thing. He's showing me everything at once, but he's expecting me to take mental notes, take physical notes, and be able to pretty much pick up from everything he showed me. So that's exactly how it's going to be at work. At best, if they show you anything, it will be similar to what we are doing here, where they will show you how something works and they just expect you to take it from there. You understand? So um, I've gotten a couple of people that were disappointed that um, I guess they expect that it would be more of like I feel like I'm just showing you guys what to do in a good way, but I don't want to hold anyone's hand, like telling you down to like how to open a folder on your computer and tell you, okay, go and click over here to, oh, no, that is not learning. You have to, a lot of those things, you have to be very resourceful, do those things by yourself. Then my job is just to show you the roadmap. And while you are navigating the roadmap, if you run into any issues, have any questions, then I can help you answer those questions. But a lot of the work is coming from you. And I think people always forget that. And honestly, that's what in the tech field, that's what you're going to need. Because it's the field that you make a lot of money, but they also expect you to know what you are doing. Even the guy that was showing me how to do something, when I'm sharing my screen, right, and I go and right click on something and I do this, right? Or let's say I'm trying to take a screenshot. This is how I was taking my screenshot. I'll open my snipping tool and I would do this. Then the guy was like, because they are so used to moving fast. The guy was like, just press shift, what is it? Shift Windows and S. Shift Windows S, right? And so if I press Shift Windows S, that would take the screen, that would just open that's like the shortcut key to taking screenshots. Or it was like if you're trying to open a link in a new tab, instead of you right-clicking on the link, like for example on this AWS, right? If this is how I always open a new link, I'll just do this right-click here. And guys, just like, just press Control. If you press Control and click on anything you click on, it will just open a new link. So it was showing me this
Shortcuts.
shortcuts on how to do, because when they are showing you stuff,
Yeah,
they
moving
are moving
fast.
such as at a fast pace that you just not knowing where to find something to them is already annoying. I'm not saying the guy was, and because he's been more than good and helpful to me. But even in him sharing stuff with me, he was teaching me different shortcuts of how to move faster. So, which is I'm saying everything you guys are doing now, even down to when you are, okay, this thing failed. Something we need to look here. So even down to when you are down to when when you are troubleshooting things on your screen, trying to figure out where stuff is, all that stuff is helping you. Because you just don't even want to go to work and they tell you to open something, you don't even know what it is or where to find it. Okay, let me look at this job that is failing. Yeah, I probably have a typo somewhere. Yeah, so is this running count? on this step, check ECS service running. Let me see. So you can see that it's just pretty much showing one of my test failed and it is rolling back. The job, this one passed, this one passed, and this one failed. So it's rolling back now, right? Which is rolling back to my previous task definition, and my site will still be up, even though this failed. My site will still be up. So let me just look at this. It's probably a typo I have somewhere in the code. Mr. Gwayi, go ahead. Did you just raise your hand or you've had your hand raised before? Which job is that? Check ECS service running tags. Okay. Monitor ECS deployment. So it will be in this job. Monitor ECS deployment. Check ECS running. This one of these failed. I probably have a typo somewhere. Let me just see here. Oh, okay, I see what I did wrong. So this here, it should be services, not service. Services. All right. So I think that's what I did wrong there. Because in the JSON document, if it's trying to look for the key, right? There's no key named service there. It's pretty much services.
So for us novice, not as skilled as you, if we have a situation like this, one way we could have learned from this is just like streamlined it to this part where we know the code, the build failed, go to this part, screenshotted this part, this whole of this part, and take it to like a cloud and exit. Can you look for why this job failed?
Yeah,
Like prompt it and it probably would catch this as on
yeah,
services. Okay.
yeah, it will catch it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'll do. I can take the error, screenshot of the error, and I also take the screenshot of this step in the job. And I'll say, do you see the error? Cloud will definitely catch it for sure.
Okay. That's good.
So I'm going to wait for, so my pipeline is done, right? And you can see here, it did the rollback. Let me check Slack, right? So here, I want to make sure I got the message in Slack. If you look here, you can see, got the message. You can see the time, 12:46 today, deployment failed. Pretty much that part, but it did the rollback, and you can see my security scan, 39 vulnerabilities, 2 critical, 37 high. The project environment, right? Project name, Nest, environment dev, triggered by me. And the image that was scanned is this latest, right? And if I want to view the pipeline, that's the link that's taking me to the pipeline, and I can now click on the job that failed and I can review the job. So pretty much everything you guys asked for is in this job, right? So we confirm that we can get the message in Slack. Now I have fixed this. Let me just push it. So here, I'm going to save and
Deploy.
that's going to push it. And while I'm even doing that, one thing I want to do is if I try to access my website, you can see my site is still up, even though my deployment failed, right? These are all the things we want, right? My site is still functioning, even though, and this is what we can call also a fault tolerant application, right? Not the application itself, but in the deployment, we account for that when we are updating our deployment, there could be a failure somewhere. We still don't want our site to be down. We always want our site to be up. And the next time the new, how do I say, our site will always be up. And if the new version or the new update we are trying to push is failing, our site will still always be up until we fix our site will pretty much be on the new version of our update when we can say we successfully deploy everything end to end and nothing failed. So right now, something failed. My site is still on the previous version, right? So now I'm running a new deployment here, which it has run. The good thing is we are using Terraform, right? You see, it's not rebuilding anything again because it's pulling the state file from S3. So it already knows here. You can see the build AWS infrastructure job is done. And here it's saying, okay, job done, right? It is now building our Docker image. You know, one thing I thought about that we can improve, I'll leave it to you guys to work on that. But I'll probably improve it. Maybe when I do the course, I'll do it there. Instead of always tagging our Docker file, our Docker image latest, right? We can tag it by numbers and always increment the tags, right? So that way, even if one fails, let's say the next tag we are trying to create fails, we can go back to the previous image tag that works. Because now that we are building everything to latest, it is just overriding the latest one we have in the console. But we can increment our tags and only use, or maybe we can always use latest, but the previous tag that was there before we write to it, we can retag it as version 1, previous or something like that. So there could definitely be an improvement in this, the way we are tagging our image here. But that's something I'll probably work on later on. So right now it has built the Docker image. It is scanning it now for vulnerabilities. Mr. Larry, did you have a question? Oh, no, you didn't. Okay. Or did you? I see you are unmuted, but I can't hear you. Mr. Emmanuel, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Yes, sir.
No, I don't have a question. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Emmanuel.
Yeah, changing the tag, like you said, will it have effect on the storage? Like if
When we start, oh yes, it should. It probably will, because now you are storing multiple versions of your image. You're talking about storing your image in ECR?
the tagging you are saying now, like instead, like you are using version instead
Yes.
of
Yes. So yeah, your ECR repository will get bigger because now you are storing multiple versions of your image in there. Yes.
affect cost.
Yeah, it will, but I always feel like anything storage in AWS, I mean, you have to be storing a whole lot of stuff there for you to see cost. So for AWS, it should be fine. It wouldn't, anything storage in AWS is very cheap. So you have to store a whole bunch of image, like a lot. Like your image has to be extremely big for you to start seeing cost on it. So I wouldn't worry about cost. And it's something you can always go back and delete once you are done with your project. But it's good to have features like that in the pipeline, because I'm pretty sure at work, they probably keep the previous version of their image. So now it has run the job, update the task definition. Now it is restarting the ECS Fargate service. And you guys can, if you want to see the pipeline itself, you can see it here. This is where we are now. So once the service is done updating the service, it is going to do the test again. So just give it some time. And also one thing I want to, like I said, I want to show you guys is that JSON document. So you see this CLI command. I'm just going to copy this. I'll paste it here. So when you guys are writing script, right, you guys understand that when you have something like this, right, this is one line. This is one line. But because if you have something that is going horizontal like this and is breaking out of your screen, you can break it down into like a compact view like this so you can see. So how you do that is for everywhere where you have space in your command, you can put, like you can see there's a space here, then you put a hyphen, like a forward slash or a backslash, right? You put a backslash, then the next item, the next thing, you can now drop it under it here. So that's what this means. Anytime you guys see it, it is one line of code. This means new line, but still interpreter will interpret it as one line of code, but it is understanding that for visual purpose, you are breaking it into multiple lines, but it's still going to interpret it as one line of code. So it will be equivalent to if I have it like this. That is what the code looks like. So here I'm going to remove this because we're storing it as an environment variable. So the CLI command is AWS ECS describe service. Here I need to put the cluster name. And I need to put the service name. So I'm going to run this once we are done. So because I want to show you guys that output that I was talking about. So it's still restarting the service. It's probably waiting for the service to be stable. Okay, now it is running the next job. So if we go in our pipeline, see, it's running the next job. That monitor ECS passed. And we're testing our application health. Can go in it and see what it is doing. So you can see it did return status code 200. So that job is done. And you see, once those two jobs pass, it sent a message in Slack and the rollback is skipped. So I'm glad that failed. So you guys saw the rollback worked. And now you saw it when the pipeline is successful, you saw that it sends a notification. So if I go to Slack again, so you can see now, I just got this message 102. You can see the time here, 102. Deployment successful, pretty much the information. And I still got the results on vulnerability scan. right? So this, even though we are pushing the pipeline through in the dev environment, right? We still are getting the results of the scan. So someone can go and track down that file and see what the scan results are, right? So that's that. And if I refresh on my website is still working. And also, let me show you that last thing that I was saying. So, and all this stuff, obviously, you guys already know. If we go into our management console, for example, ECS, right? All this service will be there. You can see our cluster running. The service is here, is active. If we go into that service, you can see I have one service running, nothing is failing, everything is successful. You can see here, health is healthy, right? So let me now show you that that JSON document that I was talking about. So here, the service name, I'm going to paste this here. And the cluster name. Copy the cluster name. I'm going to paste it here. So that's my CLI command, AWS ECS describe services, right? Cluster and service. Those are the two arguments it needs. Remember, any of these things, you can go and find it you can find the documentation by, if you select this and you paste it in Google, it will take you straight to the documentation. So you can see here, documentation, describe service, right? So you can see here, describe service. You can see one of the flag it expects is cluster and service. You can see this is required. Showing you what your syntax will look like. And here, it will also show you the output. You can see here. Maybe I should have showed you guys from this documentation. So all it's telling you is that, look at, and it's giving you an example. When you run it here, I guess we don't even have to put the cluster name, but you can put the service name is required. So when you run it, the describe, it is showing you this is what the output will look like. Remember I told you guys a JSON, right? It's a JSON document. You can see this JSON document. The top key is services, right? This is equivalent to this. We are querying it, right? Services, right? And we now said that service is a list. So you can see this service key, the value is a list, and the list is all these things. So we now said, okay, in this list, we are querying the first item in the list, because you can see this is a list that goes from there and hence here, right? It's a list. Anytime you guys see that bracket, that's a list, right? And in this list, anything in JSON is an item. So you can see wherever this opens and it closes, that is one item, right? Okay, that is, so in this list, it is by the way the view is, but this is a list. So here, there's one item one. Where does it close? I think it closes here, because there's another one that's opening here. I think it closed somewhere here, right? So basically, so there are multiple items in it. Let's just say this is item one, right? And I think this item one it covers more, like this. This is item one, right? And what that zero is saying is This 0 is saying in that list, you are picking, remember that's called indexing, what we did, right, in Terraform. We are picking the first item. So that means it's picking this first JSON item in it, because it's a list, right? And in that item, we want to get the value of desired count. So you can see desired count here. Desired count is this. And the first one is running count. So you can see in that same first item, right? They probably don't have it in this document, right? Because this is just, I'm just showing you. But if we run the real CLI command, we will see running count there too as well. So that's how that query thing is working. When you're able to understand stuff like this, and obviously there's nothing hard about it to understand, but once you can sit down and do the work and sit and be able to track it down like this, trust me, you already know what you are doing. It's only if you don't want to do the work that you won't understand it. Right. So I can also run that CLI command that I created. Copy this. I just open the terminal and I'll paste it in here. Press enter. And you can see it gave me, I should probably output it to a file. So you can see it gave me a list, services list, right? The first item in the list. You can see running count is here, desired count is there, and they are both equals to 1. In cloud computing, this is what you guys will be doing majority of the time. You are not really writing anything new. You are getting when you run AWS CLI command, you are getting something or creating something. In this case, we are getting some information, right? When AWS now responds with a bunch of information, like all this information AWS responds with, right? You don't need, all these ones don't mean nothing to you, but there's something in here that you want to use, you want to take so you can use it somewhere. So now you just query that file and you extract the value of pending count, running count, then you can use it. When we work on the Python code, that's exactly what we'll be using Python for. We'll be getting information of something we have in AWS and we'll be using that information to do something else. That's really all you're doing when it comes to scripting. So you guys can see the document. So that's how we end up on this here, this query thing that I was explaining. All right, that's pretty much it. We are done with this project. You guys know, as usual, you have the other Shopwise to deploy that one as your assignment. Yeah, and if you have any questions, you can feel free to
Aziz,
Yes, sir.
quick one, right? So after like this section, are you doing another section sorry, after this we're done with all this project, are you like, or it's just for this year?
I don't,
Live
yeah,
session like this.
live session. I think I'll do another one. I enjoy doing it, but I need to be online anyway because it's like my own time to be online. So
Okay, so you always be online.
yeah, on Saturdays, and I'm trying to
Saturday,
find
like,
like this time, yeah, and I'm trying to find another time during the week, maybe every other day. So, yes, so I'll do another one for sure.
yeah, because the reason I was answering, right, a friend came to visit and it was like, so like I always update my LinkedIn with all this project I was doing. So it was like they would like to do it, but they would like to stay on the live class. So that's why I was answering for him. If so, I can give him the information when you're starting again.
Yes, so once this is done, I'll start again. We'll start from
Okay, I'll
project one
let him know.
again, right?
Okay, I'll let him
So
know.
it's still
Yeah.
the same one. So if he wants to join, he can just go to my website and just
Mm-hmm.
get this one now. So who was John? Okay, it's John, right? So John don't like
Yeah.
the 4 hours class, right? He prefers to do the projects on the website because it's much straightforward, right? Because the 4 hours one is longer, right? And the benefit of both is like he can just come here and get it, right? So in the meantime, he will have access to the short form of the projects on the site. Then when this session is over and I start the the live one, he can also join. So
Okay.
you'll have
Okay.
access to
Okay.
both.
Yeah, I'll let him know. Thank you.
No problem. So yeah, it just depends. Some people prefer the shorter version where they can just work at their own pace. And I understand, and it's because of time. Sometimes people are at work, they don't have time. The same time we are here now, we can see people in Nigeria, they are joining from, it's already night over there, evening time, and they are watching. So some people just prefer to just go watch it on the site and they will listen in on the live. And some people prefer the live where they can do the project along. So it just depends on your preference. The good thing is that you have access to both once you sign up. And I'm actually another thing is I don't know if you guys noticed, I already updated the ECS project. So I'm updating the Kubernetes project now. And that should be the full update for the Kubernetes project should be done by latest by next week. That should be done. So all 4 projects, the static website, dynamic website, ECS, and Kubernetes will be done. The Terraform project is still good, but I want to update it to include some of the new things we are doing with the migrating our data into RDS. So that one, I'll update that one. So I'll update the Terraform module, the CI/CD. Those are the ones that are next to update. But I've updated all the first 5 projects are up to date. Well, with the exception of Kubernetes, that one will be done this week. I've recorded the video. I just need to finish some editing and post it.
I have
All
a
right.
question.
Yes.
Is it best practice to always, when you're for communication purposes, to put your lead, I mean not lead, like your program manager as part of your Slack contact so they know what's going on? Or is you would need a different?
No.
Okay,
Only always report directly to who you are supposed to report to.
your lead,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Because
Because
they
that
are so busy. They are so busy and all that stuff with other things. Yeah, I don't ever interact with my program manager at all, unless if I have to.
because that
Unless
was a big,
it's
huge interview question I had with GDIT, General Dynamic Information. They were like, the program manager was like, "Hey, I do not have time. I work from home. That was the best way of communicating with me to keep me abreast with all your tasks." And I was just, luckily, I was like, "Oh, what applications do you guys need?" She didn't want to answer. So I was like, okay, if you guys have Microsoft Project Teams, I could use that and integrate it into the workflow. So you will be abreasted with that. And she was like, okay, that's good. So I was like, that's a strange question. So
yes, with stuff like that, she's probably what stuff like that is just you can't if if your program manager is saying she wants to be aware, then you have a she's already given you permission to let her, but it still doesn't mean that you send emails to her every day, right? You can, it just depends on who your program manager is and what they want, right?
yeah, she was
So
like,
in this
how
case,
often will you send your tasks to me of your deliverables? So I was
it,
like,
in this
weekly.
case, it might be a weekly thing where you just write a quick summary of what you did for the week. This week, I accomplished this and I'm planning to work on this. Just a quick summary, something you can really look and grind. It's not an essay, just quick bullet points of things. You can even break it down to things that I accomplished this week, things down the pipeline that I'm working on. So she can, it sounds like that's what she's saying, right?
Yeah,
So some program managers, they're so busy, you just report to your lead, and because
yeah,
your lead is reporting to them anyway. So it just depends.
okay,
So yeah, but it's not something you have to, it's just a quick summary. It could be a quick summary in Slack, Teams, or an email. You just CC the things completed during the week. And I've actually had a program it wasn't even my program manager. Well, he was my manager. I won't say it was a smaller company, so it was my direct manager, like the IT manager. He wants me to write the document every week, like write a weekly summary of what I did.
Mm.
So it just depends.
Okay, quick question, part two. If you had like this whole project we're doing, but we have another account, like different clients, different stakeholders that are affiliated to the same project, and we wanted to isolate each account, like your AWS account, like my account. I want to have visibility of what you are doing on this project, but I want to have my own AWS account. How do we do that?
You can always give people access to your AWS account, but then you limit their scope to in the IAM permission.
Okay.
So you can give in his IAM role, you used to do that. So
Okay. Create a group access for them or role access and give them
yeah,
limited permissions and
in IAM role, you can do when you create an IAM role, you can create role. You can see here service if you want to give someone else account,
accounts.
AWS
Okay.
account.
Okay.
And here you just put this account or another account. Then you put the account ID
I
here.
see.
Then
Nice.
you now put you could click next or whatever. Then you now give them the permissions, the policy, read only, what EC2, S3, whatever you want them to have access to. And that's how. That's the
Nice.
easiest way to do it. But obviously on the enterprise level, they have other ways. But this is how you can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so we are done with this project. I'm going to destroy. So here, I'm going to run my I'm just going to run my destroy here. Destroy. Save. Destroy. Yes. Sync. All right. So now if I go back to my pipeline, actions, destroying. Yeah, it is running now. AWS infrastructure. Then it's going to pretty much destroy the infrastructure and we don't have to run the rest of this. And that's pretty much it for this project. And we are done. Any questions on the project? Ismail, Juliet, are you guys even, do you guys work on the projects or you just watch, then you work on it later on? Do you guys have any questions? Wisdom, do you guys have any question? All right. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of this project. We would next week let's work on for like the next project, let's work on. Oh, you work on it with me? Oh wow.
Yeah, that's why they're
Oh,
not
too
asking
much.
questions because they're busy typing.
Yeah, wow.
That's not good.
So Ismail, works after Juliet works with me. Okay, wow. Okay, that's cool. My question is about the side payment for 3 months. Yes, cloud computing. Next week, I will have an answer for you. I'll have an answer for you next week.
Quick question.
Uh,
Is
yeah, sure.
the Fargate is like a step function of tax, right? In Azure, I know you're somewhat familiar with Azure. They have step functions. Is Fargate like complementary to step function as far as
No,
okay.
Fargate is just what AWS calls their container service. So Fargate means that AWS is managing the server and you are just deploying stuff on it.
I understand that's the serverless is a serverless service. Yeah, but I want to know what, like, if they ask me, like I was asked name some serverless AWS services. Of course I named Lambda, I named Fargate, but I knew much about Lambda and what Lambda does as far as step functions. I was lucky enough they didn't ask me to elaborate much about Fargate. So that's why I'm asking to get an understand. I've read the definition of Fargate, it's not hidden. It's not hidden. So maybe I just wanted you to see whether you can enlighten me more so I could get an
No, yeah, it's
understanding.
just AWS container service. You don't have to elaborate more on that. It's AWS. You don't have to. Step function is different. Step function is more. It's like a process of automating something. So step function is more. uh, Step function is more of like if this happens, then do this. That's nothing to do with Fargate is AWS container service. Um, That's it. And it's a service where AWS manage the underlying server for you, and you focus on deploying your service on it, right? You don't see the server, you only see you see your containers that you are hosting on the server, and you are not managing the underlying server. That's it. If it was me, I wouldn't explain it more than that, right? Step function is like, for example, when we do our Python project, we can say, okay, when a file lands in this bucket, we want you to do this. So you can now create all those things in a step function, like a series of things that if this happens, then you can do this, you can do that.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
automation
yeah,
using
exactly. It's
Python
like another
auto
automation
tree.
type of thing. Yeah, so it's not this is I mean
Not
I may be wrong, but it's not the same thing. So
so in this architecture, you could just, if you don't want to, you could eliminate that process of Fargate and just say, hey, from here, do this, go here, do scan my image. If it's good, um if it's not in a production environment, and and there are um vulnerabilities you find, still go ahead and skip that Fargate process and deploy it in the environment you're working on.
so how are you going to deploy it in the environment if you don't have Fargate?
That's why
Fargate
I
Fargate
wanted.
is itself is what is deploying your container in AWS. You can't deploy it without Fargate. You
Okay,
cannot.
that's what I wanted to hear.
The ECS service itself, that's
Works
what
with Fargate.
it's just a name they call it, Fargate. So the ECS service itself is what is deploying your container. You can't deploy container in AWS without that, unless if you just want to deploy your own EC2. AWS does allow you to do that. You can deploy your own EC2 and deploy your container on it. Then you will have to deploy the EC2, manage the EC2, then now configure the EC2 to run containers.
And from that containers, you deploy it into EKS or ECS if you want it to be. I mean EKS, sorry.
No,
EKS that's if I wanted to skip, I'm just going along with your definition. If I wanted to skip the Fargate process, I understand your concept. I'm just saying, are there other ways to go around Fargate?
if you want to deploy a container,
Yeah, an image, yes, a container, yes.
in AWS, no.
Okay.
Like I'm saying, you can either run your own EC2 or use AWS Fargate, right? But that's AWS container service, right? Their container service, that's it.
Okay.
So if you want to deploy container in AWS, you are either doing it that way. You are using ECS. Fargate is just a name. It's just how they have name for everything. How AWS has name is it's just a name, right? Is a name for their container service, right? The type of container service where their managed service is the name for their managed container service where in AWS ECS, Fargate is AWS is managing the underlying server for you. Or you can go and launch your own EC2 instance and deploy your container on it, right? So either way, you're still using their container service. So if you want to deploy a container on AWS, there's no, there's no other ways I know that you can do it. There might probably be other service that deploys container, but you have to probably integrate those services with AWS. Yeah, so Fargate is just AWS container service. That is, and if you want to deploy to Kubernetes, AWS does have EKS, which is the Kubernetes service. Which with EKS, there's a bunch of configuring your control plane, your worker node, and all those things. If you decide to go launch an EC2, you would have to configure all those things yourself. But using AWS managed service, AWS handles all that stuff, and you just focus on doing your deployment. All right, so
Okay, thank you.
I think yeah, it should just I think it's always good to like lean on AWS managed service and just it's already simplified. There's no reason. Um, and I always appreciate the effort, but usually when you guys are learning, don't think like you have to do the most complicated, complex configuration and all that stuff, right? Um, because you might learn all these things and your company don't even use it because I guarantee you 99% of your, by over 90% of your company, if they are using container service, are using Fargate and they're not even using the ones where you launch your own EC2 instance. They are using AWS ECS Fargate where they just focus on hosting their application. So I'm saying like from a design standpoint and learning standpoint, it's always good to learn in that aspect instead of like if you ask me to configure like a whole Kubernetes now on thing, I don't know how to do that, but I know how to run a Kubernetes service in AWS, which when you start working, most likely if your company is using Kubernetes, that's what they will be using. Yeah. So, and I think you even say in the best practice book, anytime you can lean on AWS service where the tax can be taken away from you is always the best idea because it works in every aspect. It's helping you be more productive. And also from a security standpoint, you don't have to worry about if someone comes and audit your ECS environment, the most thing they will be able to audit is whether you have things encrypted or if your image has vulnerabilities. The underlying server that the ECS containers is running on, AWS is managing that. So the AWS is responsible for the security of those things versus if you had your own EC2. Yeah, so
Okay, thank you very much.
yeah. So okay,
What do you think about NVIDIA this week?
um I don't know. I haven't looked into their thing. I know they report in earnings, but I don't know yet. I haven't
Okay.
looked into it, but it's not something I'm paying attention. At this point, I pretty much give up
Don't give
on earnings things. The market is kind of like,
it's manipulated.
although I do have an indicator.
It's just that a lot between November and is it October and now they've been everything is about AI, machine learning, and competition. So I just feel okay, this is this is a no-brainer. If anyone should be doing well, it should be NVIDIA this week, you know? Um,
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like you
Yeah,
said,
so
it's heavily manipulated. You can do weekend, and they'll come up with one storyline and say due to this something, and you see the whole thing is cascading downwards. So I just
yeah.
wanted to hear your
Yeah,
input.
maybe. Yeah, no, I haven't looked into. I kind of like give up on, not giving up. I'm still trading, but I'm trying to just still put my learning first, then before I'm doing it. But I think I have a process now that I'm using that works. work this week and work last week. So far this year, my training has been good. So,
Nice.
yeah. Anyway, Juliet,
Hi, Aziz.
so hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, can you add me to the Slack channel, this present cohort? Yeah, I just want to connect with others.
Well, yeah, I can add you to it, but it's the same people that are here that are there. But I'll add you to it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's even quiet in there. Nobody's really posting there because they still kind of like post. So, but I'll add you to it.
Okay.
Yeah, so Juliet, I'm glad you are going along with it. That's pretty good. So, you guys just keep up the good work. I'm very proud of you guys' process. I mean, you guys progress. Um, and always happy to see you guys every week. And despite that, I don't want to say because you are in Nigeria, but it is very impressive to be in Nigeria and still be, and you still follow along every week. I certainly appreciate you being here. So that's it. We are done. I have to go, but
Thank you.
we are
Thank you
done
very
with
much.
this project. You guys do your assignment. I'll respond to some of you guys if you have any questions or anything, and I'll send you guys information on the next project throughout the week. We'll probably work on Python, so I'll send you guys the link on the videos on things to install on your computer to start, right? So it's Python. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Is that Titus? Sounds
Yes,
like.
that's me.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Long time. I'm good. How's everything?
It's fine.
Welcome back, man.
Thank you.
Are you done with training and everything? Now you back fully, or
No,
what's
not
the?
still back. I'm not still back. I'm still
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
But
okay, cool.
hopefully very soon.
Okay, good, good. I'm proud
Yeah,
of you, man. That's a big step, but it looks like you're doing good. It's good to hear
yeah,
from you.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to catch up with some of the things that you guys have done over the past 3 months. Is it the same link where you have all the projects on YouTube? Just to see some of the
No,
updates.
it's a different link. So if on YouTube, if you go to the live under my live thing,
Mhm.
under my live, if you go under live, yeah, you will see it here.
Okay.
Right, and I think it's under the playlist too. So it's in the playlist, this one, this hands-on DevOps project,
Okay,
this
sure.
one. Yeah. But it will probably be too long for you to watch. I don't know. It's like 4 hours each, and now it's like, well, it's there. You can, I know you probably find ways. You guys know now on YouTube, if you go on any video, you can click this axe and you can tell it they have the AI integrated in it, and it would summarize the entire video for you. You can
Wow.
tell me, summarize the video. You can see, summarize the video. If I click this, let's see.
Okay.
Right. So if a video is 4 hours long, right, and it's even breaking it down into project one, right? Host a static website on AWS, right? Here is showing you when I started setting up the network, upload application code, IAM. Oh, this is pretty good. So yeah,
Yeah.
I like that they do that. So if you guys don't want to watch like a 5 hour video, this is like some of the things you can use to narrate down. So this pretty much broke down the project into like the time phrase where the time when I was doing different things, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
So
So
um the current project on your website, like the one for GitHub Action, I see like on this class, you have kind of like updated the project. So if you already kind of like have the course, does it update that or something that we still have to rebuy?
no, it was updated. I haven't updated on the site yet because I just did the update here live, right? So
Okay.
remember I just said I'm updating all the course. I've updated everything up to Kubernetes is this week. Then next on my schedule is Terraform module, then CI/CD. So yes, it would get updated by next month,
Okay.
and you will see it in your thing. It's not, you don't have to rebuy it.
All right, cool. Just wanted to rerun it and with the update. Thank you.
All right, no problem. No problem. And good luck to you, man. Let me know
Thank
when
you.
you are fully back 100%. Mr.
I will.
Emmanuel. Mr. Emmanuel, go ahead.
Uploading the documents for the next project. I don't have anything about project 7.
Okay, yes, I haven't sent it out yet. Oh, you mean this project what we just did? Okay, I did Wisdom, I haven't been sending out any email. That's why you haven't received it. Wisdom, were you receiving emails before? I haven't been sending out emails like project 6, the Terraform projects and up to this project. I haven't been sending out email because I've been,
Up to project 5 or so.
yes, I since starting at project 5. But you know what I'll do? I'll send you guys a summary of, now that I have all the assets, I'll probably send you guys like an email on that. Only the first class. So if you've received email from me, you are on my list. But I haven't been sending out any emails starting like at project. The last time I sent out an email was like project 5. That was it.
But the previous ones help a lot. Well, it makes it very easy to want to catch up and do all the assignments.
Oh, because I have all the information in one place.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. Don't worry. I will make the project information for 5, 6, and 7, and I'll send it to you guys.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll send it to people that are here on Zoom. And on YouTube, I'm only going to send it to the same faces that have been showing up, like Wisdom, Ismail, Juliet, the same faces that I recognize that have been doing the work. I'm not going to send it to, well, I do have other people on my list. So if you guys are watching at any time, I know some people watch later on because they have to go to work. So I pretty much have everyone on my email list. And Wisdom, I'm pretty sure you are part of the list. So I'll double check. I'll send it to you guys. But yes, I didn't send email for project 5, 6, and 7. I didn't send any email.
Thank you.
No problem.
Sir,
Thank you,
please
sir.
send to us as well.
Yes, I will. I will.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. I will. All right. Is my deployment done? Yes. Environment is destroyed. You can see all the other jobs did not run. And that is it. Thank you, guys. So I'll see you guys next week. Next week, we'll work on Python, the Python project, Python and Lambda function. So just to give you guys an idea what we'll work on. It's kind of like a security thing.
Okay.
We will write a Python code that would trigger a Lambda function, would trigger it, and it will be based on, let's just do something simple as, for our EC2 instance, we don't want the server to be exposed to the world. So if people are creating security groups on EC2 in our account, we don't want the EC2 to have SSH open to the world. So if anyone, it will be an automated thing where if anytime someone launches an EC2 instance, the Lambda will get kicked off, which will run the Python code, and it will check the EC2 instance that was launched. If the security group there's a rule there that is open to the world, we can either, I'm thinking about it, we can either remove the security group automatically, remove that rule that is open to the world, or we can terminate the EC2 instance. But I think I like the terminated one because that is more exaggerated. So it will be very simple, but it's just to enlighten you on just how you can use Python in AWS, how Lambda work, Python and Lambda in AWS, and because mostly that's what we use it for. In most cases that I've seen, we use it to automate different things, different tasks. So that's the project we'll work on.
So the Python is Boto 3, right? Automation.
Yeah, Boto 3 is one of the tools. It's the software that, I forgot whatever. It's like the thing is what the software
for automation.
For automating things in AWS. Like Boto 3 is like the CLI for Python. using Python with AWS. So we'll look at that.
And the
It should be
lab
a
is going
project
to,
where we should be able to finish next week, or
and
at the most maybe 2 weeks. It shouldn't take that long.
just checking, are you going to integrate event management of like what you just explained of a function in Lambda?
Yeah,
During
the
the
Lambda function will trigger when someone launch an EC2 instance. That's what
Okay,
we'll do.
that's
Yeah.
what we're doing. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. That'll be really helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Tech with Bud, can you talk about AI in the workplace? So in my job now, AI is, we have AI. So it just depends on what team you are on, right? The way I've seen them, I wish I can show, obviously I can show you guys. The way we are, the way my company is big, my company is like, you guys know the big three companies, the big whatever, I forgot what they call them, is one of them. So they are very big in the world, right?
MCPs.
Yeah, like the Deloitte and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't work, I used to work for Deloitte, but not Deloitte. So my company is in the list of those companies. So how they are using AI is they have an application, right, that we can log into. And when we log into the application, there's like a chat, just like ChatGPT. The application has chat just like ChatGPT. And in that chat, you can now type any message you want. You can type your prompt. And you can also type, you can upload images, pictures, or text files in there. Then there is now an option you can pick which AI model you want to use, right? There is Claude there. I don't see ChatGPT there. There's Claude. I see Claude. I see Microsoft, whatever Microsoft thing is there. I see Google Gemini is there. And I see Meta's Llama. I think it's called Llama. Is there. So you pick which model you want to run your chat under and you run it. And they also have some sections there that has apps that is doing different things. So that's how they've been using AI. So if you ask me from a work standpoint, it's pretty much the same model we are calling, but from a work standpoint, they took that model. Obviously, certain security things they have to implement in it, and they made it an app that we can use at work. So if I need to use ask AI, if I need to ask AI a question now, I don't have to go to like Claude on the real Claude website. I can just use the app within that my company provide and use the Claude module within that app and ask my question. That's how I've been using it at work. So from my team standpoint, so far, that's how I've been using the AI at work. But you have to also think there's also another team within my company that probably built that app. So if you're asking me, how are you using AI at work? You will either be using it the same way I'm using it, which is the same how other engineers are using it, or you could be part of the team that actually built the app that is using all these different AI models that we are using. So it just depends on what team you are on. So you can be building, which is the direction a lot of people, pretty much AI is going. It's like you can use AI to build different apps that can do different things for you, which is kind of like what I'm trying to learn next. I'm trying to figure out how I can use Claude to automate certain things that I'm doing on a daily basis on my computer. Because with Claude now, with the new version, you can build different agents that is connected to your computer that can do different things for you. So I'm want to learn about that and do that. So that's how I've been using that work. Do you use AI coding tools like Winsoft? No, because I won't necessarily say I'm on like the AI team. They just provide an app and I'm still using it like I'm using a prompt, right? But I'm sure there's like a AI team that is taking all the AI module and actually turning it into different apps that we can use, different teams within our company can use. It just depends on what team you are on and what you are interested in. Me as a person, as an engineer, I want to use AI, whatever AI modules exist. I want to learn how to use them to build different apps that is doing different tasks or doing different things. That's how I want to learn and that's how I want to use it. But I don't necessarily want to go down the rabbit hole of engineers that actually create the AI, the whole reasoning behind the AI, how they learn. No, not doing that, but using what already exists and using it to create different type of apps that does different things. Yes. I think they call it like agentic AI. So yeah,
You know,
so that's the idea
I
that
heard
I
the
have.
news just came out from Accenture. You know, Accenture is the leading consulting company for AI. So they just implemented their workers not using AI at work. I mean, you can see who is not using it and who is using it, and
Mhm.
they are laying them off and um, upscaling the new ones that are using AI to replace them in the management realm. I just read that yesterday. I was like, wow, that's serious. So
Yeah,
basically,
you have to learn how to use AI. I feel like you just learn how to use AI to do your work, right? And I think from me, for the next level for me would be just like I said, using the AI modules that exist like Claude, ChatGPT or whatever to build different apps that does different things. You can even build multiple apps that it gets deeper and it just like there's so much you can do with it. So I think when it comes to when companies are looking for like people with AI skills, if you can do that, trust me, you are good. Um, so that's the next thing I'm looking to learn once I'm done with all this. Um, yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
Thank you.
yes, we are done. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys next week. We'll work on that quick Python project, so it shouldn't be anything complicated.
Please add me to your Slack. I sent my email on
Sure,
your. Thank you.
sure, I will. All right. Okay, thank you guys. Juliet, thank you. Have a good weekend. Have a good night. Samuel, hi. Have a good weekend, and I will see you guys next week. But
Thank you.
you too, Juliet. Thank you guys. Have a good week. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Azeez.
No
Bye.
problem. Thank you. Bye. Yes, Wisdom. Thank you. Bye.